guys, how's it going? Stout Man coming back at you today, and today we've got some quite interesting pickups to talk about. I know not everybody likes to see game stuff, but I did get some games. I'm going to throw that in at the end of this video, so if you don't care about that stuff, then you can of course just stop watching then. I'm just that kind of guy, you know. If you're more interested in the Blu-ray pickups that I made, then, you know, that's what's happening right now. We're going to talk about that right now. So, recently came into some money for my birthday, and I decided to spend some of it on some of the deals that they had at Best Buy. These are deals that happened, I believe, last week. I don't know exactly when I'm posting this. Suffice it to say that these deals are no longer live. But, yeah, let's go ahead and get some of these out of the way, shall we? First off, I want to talk about Man of Steel. I love this movie. I know a lot of people are not huge fans of Man of Steel, but I thought it was a really good movie, a really good take on Superman. Probably one of my favorite takes on him, in fact. I know that there's some issues with the way that he's portrayed in this movie that are not true to the source material, so to speak, but I didn't really have too much of a problem with that because I'm not extremely attached to like the original source material. Superman, I think there's room for Superman to grow and change and evolve and become something else, and so I liked what they did with this movie. And I am just a really big fan of Zack Snyder in the first place, and when you get Zack Snyder to go together with Christopher Nolan, I mean, sold and a half. Granted, they had like a really weird, like lower color, like darker color palette for this that kind of bothered me because it felt a little bit too stylistic, and it almost like I wouldn't say detracted from, but it was noticeable enough that it was, you know, taking you a bit out of the film, made you feel more like you're watching something that was overly designed to make you, you know, feel something. You can tell when people are trying too hard, and I felt like that was one area in the cinematography and whatnot, and the editing, that they were trying too damn hard. But that being said, I still feel like this is a solid 7 out of 10. So when I saw it for $8.99, I know that's gonna shock a lot of you. Like $8.99 for that, like there have been better deals on this, right? But when I saw it for $8.99 with $8 movie cash towards Batman vs. Superman, which is a movie I want to go see, I did the math, alright? I did the math and I realized I'm going to go see this movie anyways, so $8.99 with $8 movie cash, that essentially makes this a buck, alright? So essentially paid a buck for Man of Steel on Blu-ray. I don't have a problem with that. I do not have a problem with that. This comes with, of course, the digital copy and the Blu-ray and the DVD. So, yeah. And they don't come in one of those cheapo cases, so that's nice. Next up, I took advantage of the 3 for $20 sale that they had. This happens, I'd say, at this point, like once every month or two. I think it happens once a month, but it might be once every 2 months at this point. I'm not entirely sure, but they do have a 3 for $20 save station from with a bunch of Sony titles at 3 for $20. At the price of 3 for $20, you're essentially paying $6 and some change, $6.66 in fact, an evil price. So yeah, you're paying less than $7, but a little bit more than $6 for each title. So, depending on what those titles are and how hard it is to come by them for a decent price, it can actually be a pretty good deal that you're getting there if you actually, you know, find something that you want that you don't already have. I already have a lot of stuff that they have in that save station, but there are some things that I didn't have, so I decided to get 3 titles to take advantage of that sale. And the first title I will show you is Jumanji. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this movie. I think that it has not necessarily gotten better with age, but it is a fairly interesting, fairly good movie, and this is the new 4K remaster of it. If you didn't know that, this is the anniversary edition here. That's how you know. This is anniversary edition at the top. Is actually a 4K remaster of the film. It is not a 4K disc, or else it would be in the black case, and this is traditional blue case. So it's basically just a 4K master on a traditional Blu-ray disc. But, you know, that's nice because it means you're going to get a better quality transfer of the movie than what has been out there already before. So if you're looking to get this movie, and let's say you have the original release on Blu-ray and you have noticed it's not that great, this is a much better quality print that you're going to get on this release. And if you don't have the movie on Blu-ray yet, then you know which one to get now. Get this one. So yeah, for $6.66, which is the price it came to essentially, it's a pretty good deal because otherwise you're paying $10 for this one, $9.99, and I have not really seen this one drop below about $8 or so. So for $6.66, I figured that's a pretty good deal. I'm not going to pass that up. Next up, we have Dracula, and this is the new Supreme Cinema series or whatever 4K transfer of the film. It's not the super awesome packaging one that has a bunch of extra special features that I'm not too concerned about. It's not that one. It's not the special edition version. It's just the regular release of the film here on Blu-ray, but it is the regular release of the 4K remaster of it. The traditional price, the regular price on this is apparently $9.99 now, and I have not seen it for less than that. Actually, $9.99 is probably the best price that I've seen on it. So you bring that down to $6.66, and you've got an even better deal. I mean, I don't think you're going to see much of better of a deal on this for at least another 5 to 6 months. Maybe sometime around Halloween, but even then, it's not. It's a possibility that you don't see a deal like this again for quite a while. You know what I mean? The Blu-ray does come with some special features. I mostly got it because it's a new 4K transfer. 4K transfers are awesome. Don't have a 4K player yet. Don't have any 4K Blu-rays yet, but I do like 4K transfers on Blu-ray because they look very nice. You know, they're an example of going back to the drawing board with popular movies and deciding to do new transfers of them that end up being a lot better transfers because they're transfers that are designed for the upcoming 4K generation of home video releases. So, you know, it's like, even if it's not a 4K disc, it's still the best that this is going to look on Blu-ray. So to get it for a decent price like this, awesome. That being said, I think this next pickup is probably one of the best pickups. It's definitely the best deal I got on a Blu-ray. Bar none, absolutely, undeniably the best deal that I got on Blu-ray. So we have here Leon the Professional, and this is, of course, yes, the 4K Supreme Cinema Series version, minus all the special features and stuff that come in the big deluxe box set thingamajigger, you know, that I really don't like the packaging of anyways, but whatever. This right now comes to a price of $14.99. So I brought the price tag down from $14.99 to $6.66 on this one. Just so we're clear, this came to $6.66. That is absolutely the best price that I've ever seen for Leon the Professional. Very, very good deal, and absolutely excellent movie and excellent transfer from what I've heard. So 4K remaster, once again, gotta get it, gotta go for it. I've noted that the movies that they're choosing for the Supreme Cinema series so far are, I'm pretty sure, all Gary Oldman films. So yes, you've got Gary Oldman in this movie, you've got Gary Oldman in this movie. I mean, it's just Gary Oldman, Gary Oldman, Gary Oldman. Like, they really like their Gary Oldman. I don't understand why Gary Oldman is the one that they like chose to focus on in terms of movies that get the Supreme Cinema Series treatment, you know. But whatever. And I'm glad that I got a good deal on these because these are titles in that new series that are probably not going to drop much in price anytime soon. So to get them for $6.66, it's a pretty good deal. So that will do it for the Blu-rays. That's all I got for Blu-rays when it came to my money that I got for my birthday. But now we're going to talk about the games that I got. And I got some pretty good deals on these games. So if you are actually interested in games, then do stick around for that. So let's just start showing you the dealios, shall we? I've been looking for a good racing game. So I went to GameStop and they had a 4 for 20 deal on a lot of titles, mostly PS3 and Xbox 360 titles, but they also had some PS4 and Xbox One titles in there for 4 for 20 as well. So essentially $5 per title. And honestly, right now, if you're thinking about collecting some PS3 games or Xbox 360 games for that matter, I don't know why you necessarily want Xbox 360 games, but that's neither here nor there. If you're looking to collect things for the last generation, now is the time to do it because now is the time that they're going to be the cheapest. This is like the lull period right before things start to skyrocket because, oh, this is becoming more of a, this is a retro thing now, and retro carries a higher price tag kind of thing. I mean, you'll note that PS2 games are starting to rise in price, and Xbox games and GameCube games, they're all starting to rise in price, right? Especially if you look at things like Dreamcast and that era, like, those are all starting to get pretty expensive, right? So, PS3 is currently in the middle of that lull period, and 360, I believe, as well, in a lot of areas, but maybe not all areas. They're currently in that lull period where things are getting really affordable, really cheap. So if you still have a PS3 and you're still collecting games for PS3, now is the time to start looking at places like GameStop and start looking at the prices that they have on some of these. Because like I said, I got each of these for $5 each. That's all. $5 for each game, and there's a lot of entertainment here. So let me just show you the racing games that I picked up. I only got 2 because I figured they should suffice, or they would suffice, I should say. I got Midnight Club Los Angeles Complete Edition here on PS3. So this $5 again for a Rockstar racing game. I've never actually played this game until now, and I can tell you from what I've experienced, it's a fairly fun arcade game. It's definitely more of an arcade game, although they do try to, branch off into other areas of racing games that are typically more, simulation style. They don't necessarily go too far into the simulation aspect of racing. So when I want an arcade game, this is kind of the thing that I'm kind of looking for. Honestly, I much prefer to have something like Burnout, but when are we going to get a new Burnout game? I don't know. All I know is that the people who originally did Burnout are now talking about coming out with a game soon that is like Burnout, but not Burnout. So, who knows what's going to happen with that. Until then, we have to look for things to fill that gap and that hole, and I think Midnight Club Los Angeles Complete Edition might actually do that for me. Pretty good game from what I've played so far. Next up, we have Gran Turismo 5. This is the other racing game I got, and this one, of course, is a traditional simulation style racing game. Lauded as probably undeniably the best racing simulation game out there. Not particularly Gran Turismo 5, but the Gran Turismo series in general. And it's not hard to see why, because it is truly an excellent racing simulation game, and it's just a lot of fun. It reminds me in a lot of ways of games like it that I've enjoyed in the past. I mean, Gran Turismo series has been around for a long time, so it's hard to do anything but compare it to itself, right? And it's basically just another iteration of the Gran Turismo series, but it's fun. And I wanted something that was more of a simulation style game to go along with the arcade style game, because I do sometimes like to delve into the simulation area of racing games. The next two that I got here for PS3 were, I should say, role-playing games, or RTS, or strategy, or however you want to look at it, but I prefer to see them as mostly role-playing games. And yeah, let's just go ahead and show you Diablo 3. That's right, you can now get Diablo 3 for $5 on PS3. Mind you, the controls are not the same as they are on PC. I much prefer to play a game like this on PC because I'm just used to the controls of a game like this. A top-down, isometric kind of role-playing game on the PC. But that being said, I figured for $5, you know, that's not too high of a price to pay just to check it out on the PS3. And I'm probably going to get the complete edition at some point on the PC. I just wanted to be able to play it finally because I've been waiting for long enough. And $5 that's the price point for me with Diablo 3 to be like, okay, at least I can get my feet wet and enjoy some Diablo 3, even if it's on the PS3 for $5 and it's just the original version. But I will say this about it being the original version: it has, like, I don't know if you can tell, but this nice embossed lettering on here. I don't know if that's the same on the I don't want to call it the Game of the Year edition, but you know, the enhanced edition, the one that has all the new features and whatnot. I don't know if they have that kind of thing on there as well, but it's definitely a really nice little feature, and yeah, I'm excited to finally check this one out. I did play the demo of this, or was it the beta? I think it was the beta of this with some friends of mine, and we had a blast with it, so I'm expecting good things. And last but not least, for the PS3, I did get one PS4 game, but last but not least, for the PS3, I picked up a game based solely on the recommendation of Zaran Isaac, and that was Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning. This game got shat upon by the critics, which at the time I think was probably a fair assertion, because there were a lot of bugs in the game when it first came out, apparently, from what I've seen at least. But that being said, like, from what I saw from the gameplay of this, and if you want to see it for yourself, go to Zaran Isaac's channel and check out his little playthrough that he did of the demo of Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning. If you want to see for yourself, you can go there and check it out. And quite frankly, it looks really cool. It's exactly the kind of role-playing game that I'm totally into, because it's kind of like from what I saw, it's kind of like a Zelda kind of game to a certain extent. It's like if you mix traditional role-playing with a Zelda kind of game, because you're essentially in a third-person point of view, but you're going around and slicing and dicing your way through enemies and whatnot like you would in Zelda, right? But it's also got like a very much a strong element of the traditional, like, tabletop almost role-playing. And there's a reason for that. I mean, if you look, it says, from the minds of R.A. Salvatore, Todd McFarlane, and Ken Rolston. Like, these are some pretty nerdy people who worked on this game. And from what I saw from Sean's gameplay of the game, I was absolutely interested in this game after seeing that. Granted, in those demo videos, and I believe it's in the last video, or maybe the second to last one, there is a ridiculous glitch that it doesn't like necessarily affect the gameplay negatively, but it's like the ground is suddenly gone and everything starts glitching out randomly, and you know, it's weird, right? It's not necessarily a game breaker, but it is weird. Thankfully, that was fixed in the version that you get here, the full version that you get here on PS3. So if you're worried about something like that, you don't need to be worried about it, because they actually did fix that in the actual release of the game. So when I heard that there's not necessarily any glitches and the game itself should be fine, and I just looked at the gameplay and the way that it looked and the way that it worked and all that, and I said, that is a game that's right up my alley. Maybe there are a few problems with it, but it still looks like a hell of a lot of fun. And for $5, I'm not going to turn that down. Last but not least is the biggest pickup I made in terms of games, in terms of getting a good deal on games, because this is a PS4 title that I got for $5. That's right. I picked up Watch Dogs here on the PS4 for $5. Can you believe that a PS4 title like Watch Dogs, no less, has dropped to the price point of $5? Like, what? That's how cheap games are getting? Used games in particular? I mean, PS4 has only been out for a few years now, and already we're seeing titles dropping down to that price. That's crazy to me, but it's really, like, of course I'm going to take advantage of that. It's really cool. I've been wanting to check this one out. I felt like, from what I saw from gameplay that from friends of mine like Garbage Gamer, there were elements that I really liked and elements that I really thought were cool, and then there were elements that I was just like, that's kind of stupid and weird. Mainly the what do you call it? The extra stuff in the game, the mini games that they have in there. There's like a bunch of weird mini games in this that are just fucking weird, and I honestly have no intention of playing them because they just don't look fun or interesting, and they just look completely out of place and thrown in there for no fucking reason. They look practically like phone games, not even good phone games. Phone games are thrown together at the last second to add content. That to me is just like, no, don't do that. But the story of the game, and then the like the sci-fi kind of elements of the story of the game, and the gameplay itself, from what I was seeing, it's very much kind of like an open world kind of almost GTA kind of feel to the game. GTA meets Assassin's Creed in a lot of ways. I thought to myself, that looks really interesting. I'm really interested in checking this out. So for $5, I couldn't pass that up. $5 is a good deal on that. All told, I think I spent a little over $50 and got all those games, all these games, and all these Blu-rays. So, pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. Tell me what you think. Did I get a good deal or not? Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, that will do it for me. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Peace.